Recording. Hey, good morning, Misfits. Oh, by the way, we call ourselves High Energy Misfits. Why do we do that? Because we don't quite fit in out there, but we seem to fit in here. We seem to have a conversation. I got my Elvis collar going on here. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this conversation. We're going to have a conversation this morning that's going to help you understand. There's Nano. Kevin, how are you, brother? We're going to have a conversation this morning that will give you some insight to why success seems to run away from us, why success seems to be always on the other side of that mountain. It's a phenomenon called addiction to approval. Addiction to approval is this concept. I've been in the study of it for probably the last 25 years. I've been a coach and trainer in it, a certified coach in it for probably the last 3 years. I'm a certified self-talk instructor, self-talk trainer. I'm a certified life coach. All of that, listen carefully, all of that and 35 cents gets you what? 35 cents. So what I want to share with you today is something I work on. The experiences that I share with you are just that. They're experiences that I share with you because I go through them on a daily basis. When people say they're a life coach, you know what? God bless them. I'm still trying to figure out my life. I don't know how I can coach you on yours if I'm still putzing along at mine. So is it okay if we have a dialogue today? Is it okay if we have a conversation today to help bring you value? Do I have your permission to help? If I have your permission to help, just type a Y in the chat. And the reason I'm asking you this is because it's important for you to accept some help. Because if you don't, then you know what? You're not going to get it. You're going to see it. You're going to hear it. How many of us have ever heard something before and we go, oh, I've heard that before. That's good. I've heard that before. Hey, Brianna, I'm glad you got your notes ready, my love. So that's question number one. Question number two, do I have your permission to make you, listen carefully, a little bit uncomfortable? And here's why I need to ask you that question. Go ahead and type a Y in the chat if that's the case. See, I don't even want you typing out the whole word yes. The reason that's going to have to be a little bit uncomfortable is because if you're going to, listen carefully, if you're going to want something you've never had before, you're going to do something you've never done before to produce a result you've never had before, doesn't it make sense that you're going to feel wildly uncomfortable during that process? See, every time we set a goal, every time we go for something, every time we step up, step out, and step into this new us, we wind up going to do things we've never done, which causes us to think a way we've never thought, which causes us to feel a way we've never felt. It's a freaking recipe for disaster. Now, I'm going to bring it back to building our businesses. When you build your business, you're asking a prospect to go after a goal. It's something they've never done, something they've never had, something they've never thought about before, something they've never talked about before. We're setting them up for a recipe for not doing so hot. We're going to talk about that as we go through this process. So now the third question is, and I hope all of you that answered yes to question number 2, you're going to love question number 3. Number 3 is, do I have your permission to take, Steph, you advanced learner, do I have your permission to take you out of that uncomfortable feeling? Type a yes in the chat. And then we're going to dive into this presentation here. Awesome. I appreciate you all so much. I don't know if you know it. I don't know if anybody's told you yet this morning. I'm going to look you square in the eye. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being here. You make the world such an amazing place. You make the world better for me and for my family, and for that, I'm eternally grateful. I'm serious when I say that. It's people like you. It's these 93 souls who have me fired up and energized to give you the best I got. Why? Because, man, I hope you take it and go make the world a better place. It'll make the world a better place for my son's children, my great-great-grandchildren's children. By you taking action today, by you being here today, you're making the world a better place for your family, and I get the residual effect of the world being better for my family. So, all right, here we go. We're going to do a share. We're going over here, and we are in share mode. Can you all see that? Somebody either give me a verbal. Oh, look at that. Vicente Owens is checking it out. He's shaking those ropes. You go, man. You do it. Can you all hear? Can you all see the screen?
Yes, go ahead.
Thanks, Latoya. Love you, dear. So addiction to approval. What you want approval. You want approval. Yeah, but you don't know it, and it costs you and your family. Catering to others does not get you love. Oh, man, I'm telling you, sometimes this really just hits in hard. So let's take a look at it. So here's where I've pulled some of the resources. This just isn't a farm boy from Ohio pulling stuff out of his hat. This is from Psychology Today. Addiction is demanding. We don't think we demand love and attention from others, but it's letting the I'm being judged feeling rule us. It's an all or nothing equation. How many of us have ever done something for somebody just to see if we can get them to like us a little bit more? Sometimes it's at work. Sometimes we have to do these things, but I'm going to ask you, we're going to Wayne Dyer this, Dr. Wayne Dyer. We're going to change the way we look at this, and the things that we look at change. We will do so much to avoid the rejection of somebody else. Oh, that one's a killer. That one. So how many times have you gone against your better judgment to get into the good graces of others? Ooh. Now, this isn't all about business. This is about our life in general. See, when I coach, when I train, when I mentor, I want you to take away life skills, not business skills. I said it yesterday, I think. I help build people, not businesses. Today, I want to help build you. I want to give you strength and courage that you know that you already have, but you've decided not to use it. You've decided, I don't want to be that different. I don't want to be that on the edge. This is some deep programming that we're going to be talking about today. Now, again, I'm just a farm boy from Ohio. I've got some life experiences. I'm just sharing with you what I've done and how I've helped build my organizations around the world. And I'm going to talk about the triggers, what triggers us to avoid taking action. How many of you right now, we're already here on January 3rd, how many of you could have taken a little bit more action on your resolutions, the goals you've set for this year? You could have reached out to one more person yesterday in your business. You could have walked an extra. I fell short yesterday. I got to tell you, I want to do 10,000 steps a day. You know how many I got in yesterday? 2,800. Man, I really sucked yesterday. But there was, and I knew it. I knew I wanted to get the 10,000 steps in. But you know what? If I got the 10,000 steps in, I wouldn't have something to complain about today. That's a trigger in me. I know that's a trigger in me. Maybe there's something like that triggers in you. So let's define some words. Addiction, the fact or condition of being addicted to a particular substance, thing, or activity. The Latin root comes from a sign. I need you to hear this. Right now, if I make you laugh, if I make you giggle, right? Your body changes. Hey, Naomi, how are you? Right? See the smile that went on her face? She heard her name. She smiled. If I trigger something in you, you're activating the most powerful pharmacy in the world called your brain. You're not one single sound of my voice is getting into your brain. It's getting into your ears, but the sound is being transferred from a vibrational signal into an electrochemical signal. And if I were to say something that makes you mad, it wasn't the sound that made you mad. It was the chemicals you created in your brain that made you mad. We'll get more into that. My point is this thing about addiction is about the pharmacy you run in your head. Approval is the act of approving something, the belief that someone or something is acceptable. Look at how these words have been used over time. From the 1800s to now, 2010, look at how the word addiction has absolutely skyrocketed. Now, I understand there's things like opioid addiction and there's the cocaine and the drugs and alcohol. What I'm talking about here is the fact that this thing of addiction also includes what we need, right? And here's how approval has gone. It's gone down a little bit, but addiction continues to skyrocket. So, Dr. Joyce Meyer, if anybody's ever heard of her, the first of all, an addiction is something that controls people. It's something they feel they cannot live without, or something they feel driven to do in order to relieve pressure, pain, or discomfort of some kind. Listen, do me a favor. There's something that goes on out there in our society, and it happens primarily, the majority of people who do this are young girls. Has anybody ever heard of somebody cutting themselves? Right? If you've ever heard, type a C in the chat if you've heard somebody cut themselves. Here's why this is so critical. Think about that. The pain of cutting themselves is less than is the ability to focus, the ability to be present. Think about this. Cutting is the ability to be present with such pain that you don't worry about what happened 10 minutes ago, 10 days ago. You put a selfie out and 3,000 people didn't like it. It's such an addiction to approval. And we've got to do something about that. Ladies, every one of you on here is a powerful example of what success could be. There's girls who are watching you on your Facebook posts and on your Instagram posts. They're looking to see, can I be like you? So I'm going to encourage you some days to be a little bit vulnerable, to show up without all of the hair in place, show up in your hat and running suit. Running suit. Did I just sound like I'm from the 1960s? So if this is some good content, snap a picture, go ahead and throw it up on Snapchat, on Instagram, on the gram, right? Am I allowed to say that? On the gram? What is approval seeking? The definition of approval seeking is the behavior intended to get more approval and respect from others. Yet what people generally respect is the very opposite. How many of you have ever had somebody that seems needy around you? Yeah, the people pleasing again. They seem needy around you and you're like, come on, just give me a break. We'll get to it. But all they're wanting is your approval. Sometimes our kids are like this. How many of us have ever heard of a child being, how can I say it? Rambunctious, aggressive in such a way that they get in trouble. And we come to find out the only reason they're getting in trouble is so that they can get some of your attention. I'd say that's an addiction to approval. Listen to this. This just downloaded to me while I'm talking to you. How many of our prospects who say no, listen carefully, this may be just this mind-blowing thing. It is to me right now because I don't know that I've ever thought of this. How many of us have ever had a prospect say no only so that the prospect hopes we follow up with them because we're really the only person they talk to outside of their family? Could that be a case? Is there a chance that may ever happen, that a prospect says no so that they pray, they're hoping with their rejection, because you're an entrepreneur, you're a business person, you're going to step out and reach out again to them. Maybe they're hoping maybe they're hoping you follow up with them and we don't. And then they say, look, there's one more friend I don't have. But the challenge is they don't know how to have a conversation, a communication. They're not used to communicating with entrepreneurs like you. This is why we stress. They don't want what we have to offer, and it drives us to want their approval even more. Guys, I'm talking to the guys right now. How many times have we really gone after that amazing, beautiful soul who told us, no, I don't want to dance with you. No, I don't want to go out with you. Do you ever have a girl go no and we're like, oh, she's hot. We're going to go out. And you wind up trying harder. Or ladies, right? You flash your baby blues at them and all of a sudden they're not interested. And you're like, oh, I'm going to figure out a way. This is addiction to approval. Some questions to listen to. Will you be honest with yourself and answer them? I'm not going to ask anybody to put this in a chat. I'm not going to ask anybody to respond to these, but I'm going to ask you some addiction to approval questions, and I really want you to answer them, because here's what the statistics show. Right now, if I ask you if you feel you're addicted or you really need the approval of others, about 33% of you would say, yes, I do. The other 70, whatever the rest of that is, 70%, 80 something percentage, I'm not good at math, would say, no, I don't know. I don't care what other people think. But after these questions, statistics show 99.8% fit into this category of addicted to approval. Well, what about the other two? Well, the other 0.2% are schizophrenic, literally, in the scientific mind, in the scientific community. They don't have this feeling of approval. So here's the first question. Have you ever failed to ask someone for something you really wanted for the fear of hearing no? Harvard did a study. They said that in business, at the executive level, if there's an executive in the C-suite on this side of the hallway who knows that the guy or the gal over there on that side of the hallway knows the answer, you know how long here, I'd ask you this, type this in the chat. If they know the answer, these are executives who strive on success. How long do you think it takes them to walk across the hall and ask for help? If you type it in the chat, how long, how many hours do you think it would take? How many days might you think it would take? Yeah, forever, Natalie. You're pretty close. 2.3 days on average. 2.3 days, and they know the answer. You know why? For the fear of feeling inferior, the fear that they would tell them, no, I'm not going to give you the information. This is called the fear of rejection. What we want is not considered important by others. That's what we're thinking, what we want. How many of you believe that what you want is important? Type an I in the chat if what you want is important. Type an I in the chat. Watch what happens now. There you go, Vincent. You type an I in the chat, here's what happens. All of a sudden, there's a part. How many of you got a little warm in your body all of a sudden that I'm important? That's the old story showing up. That's the brain throwing the fear out to go, you're not important. What are you thinking? Have you ever held back from expressing your opinion in a group setting? Yeah, I have. Boy, this is really me. What is this fear referring to? The fear of sounding foolish. Now, I can make mistakes. That's different than me telling you, you guys are just a bunch of idiots. I still can't do that. Why? Because I don't like making people feel bad. You were afraid that your position would not be accepted by the group. Ladies, I'm going to speak to you. I know I'm making a very stereotypical comment right here, but man, this one affects you all. Because I've owned restaurants in my lifetime. I've had 34 waitresses that were all part of my employee. And I got to tell you, there'd be days I'd rather lay down and let you all kick me than have to deal with the attitudes you sometimes have with each other. It can be vicious. You can be all for each other in the group, but boy, get into the bathroom. Get a couple of you in the bathroom by yourselves. Man, Taylor, it gets messy. You are right. Have you ever followed others' people's advice even when you thought they were wrong just to please them? Ooh. Listen, I'm in the business of this profession of MLM, mentors leading mentors, me loving more. I'm in this profession, but I will tell you this, there are so many times that we have followed other people's opinions just to please them. We've done it with our parents. Here, let me explain to you exactly, Monica. Here's what happens. Before we can communicate with our family, we find out that if we laugh, they're happy, and if we cry, they either give us food. But if we get aggravated, if we get agitated, they start to get frustrated with us. And then we figure growing up, if I bring a flower to my mom, if I bring a weed to my mom, if I bring a stone to my dad, if I bring them this little gift, they'll go, oh, this is so beautiful. Oh, this is so amazing. And then we realize, ooh, that gets me out of hot water. Guys, have you ever bought your special friend, your girlfriend, your bride, your wife, your significant other, have you ever bought them flowers because you were in the doghouse? Tell me that ain't addicted to approval. We're trying to get back in good graces. Ladies, have you ever sat down next to your boo and started rubbing his shoulders and they're like, what are you doing? Oh, I just love you. I just love you. We all do it. This is addiction to approval. And sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it's okay to want the approval of those that are important to you. Here's the challenge. All too often, we're going after the approval of people who don't matter, who aren't going to make a damn bit of difference in our life, and we're worried about them. What is this fear return? People pleasing. Yeah, somebody typed it earlier. People pleasing. Here's a tough one. You got to answer. And again, I'm not asking you to post this. I'm needing you to sit in your heart and answer this in your heart. Did you ever go to college or choose a major or get married or stay married or have kids or select a business career you didn't want because you didn't want to disappoint your parents, family, or friends? How many of us, the relationship is over, but they've been together another 2 years because they don't want people to go, You guys were such a cute couple. They didn't want to have to deal with the crap of everybody going, I can't believe you broke up. Monica, I love your post there, girl. Yes, you didn't know any better. You didn't know what you didn't know. How many of us, raise your hand if you didn't know what you don't know? Yeah, that's all of us. That is all of us. Taylor, I love that hair. Oh my God. When I grow up, I want hair just like that. Y'all are amazing. I love every one of you. This is just so freaking cool. Here's the fear. What fear is that? The fear of letting others down. Here's the big challenge we get in this business. I'm not going to ask you, but if you, Gisela, there you go. Yeah, there you go. You've got this desire. And that, I got to tell you, my love, Gisela, you and I know each other. I got to tell you, that sits in your crux. That sits in your core. When you go out to have new ideas, oh yeah, but we can't afford that right now. So all I'm saying is that the more you become aware of these things, the more you can say, you know what, that served me up to this moment. Here's what I want everybody to be comfortable with. That served me up to this moment. I choose to have something else serve me now. Man, when you start to say these words, you take control of yourself. You become so powerful in yourself. Honestly, stop caring about what other people think. Don 2X, yeah. Let's go. Hey, you're going to be an accountant. I feel it already. If that's what you're going after, do it. Done. Put it in the books. All right. So let's see here next. Where'd my mouse go? My mouse is gone. Hang on, everybody. Slight malfunction going on here. What is going on? So I'm going to keep talking about this. See if I can do it. Anybody can do it. Yeah, this is a big one. This happens a lot there we go. I don't know what was going on there. So we're going to close that out. We're going to put this back in present mode. My computer's a little tired. I don't know what was going on. Present. There we go. So the question is, what happens next? Oh, fear of inadequacy. That was different. Were you ever dying to ask somebody out on a date but didn't because you were afraid they'd be rejected? So I don't know how old you are. I know a lot of you are younger folks. But when we used to go to like school dances, do they have that anymore? When we would go to school dances, the girls would be on one side of the gym and the boys would be on the other. Now, we didn't have sock hops. If anybody's thinking he went to a sock hop, I'm going to say something bad, but I'm not. We didn't have sock hops. I'm older than that. I'm younger than that. But we would go and guys, all of the guys would be going, ask her out. She was asking about you. And sometimes they were kidding. Sometimes they weren't. But this fear of inadequacy, we're not enough. Here's what I'm going to ask you. Instead of an affirmation, yeah, homecoming. Instead of proms, listen, I never went to my proms. I did. I went to my senior prom, but I parked cars and I made like $400, not from tips from the guys. I made money from my senior prom because I stole all their beer out of their trunks and I charged them to get it back. Yeah, I was an entrepreneur from a very early age. Here's another one. Have you ever backed down from voicing your opinion on social media from the fear of being judged by your friends? Sometimes this has to do with relationships. Sometimes this has to do with your religion, your faith, or your political conversation. What do we say? Avoid politics and religion. Yeah, because sometimes you don't want to start a stupid fight, right? So some people don't argue with an idiot. You ever hear that? They'll bring you down to their level and beat you with their experience. Have you ever experienced fear when asked to speak in public? See, this is a huge one. Every one of you are professional. Every one of you are public speakers. Let me say it this way. The difference between you and me is this simple thing. I get paid to speak. I get paid to stand on stages around the world and speak. My keynote speeches for an hour are 15 grand for the hour. Here's what I know. If you've sponsored somebody, listen carefully. I need you to take a look at this. The previous one was, have you ever backed down from voicing your opinion, the fear of being judged? That was the previous one, Fatu. So this thing of public speaking, have any of you ever sponsored somebody? If you've sponsored somebody, type an S. I don't care if they're still active or not. You may have only sponsored one and they quit. That's okay. If you sponsored somebody, put an S in there. Let me let you in on a little secret. You're a paid public speaker. Listen carefully. You are a paid public speaker. My sponsor in this industry makes well over $200K a month as an amazing public speaker, but she's only on stage once or twice a year. I get paid pretty darn good from my business, my network marketing business, my Me Loving More business, and I'm hardly ever on stage, but I am publicly speaking all the time. Every one of you is publicly speaking all the time. If people aren't following you on your Instagram or connecting with you, that audience isn't paying you to speak. They're not paying you to post. They're liking stuff, but how do you convert that into income? How do you create a connection? Sometimes we've got to open our cake hole and we got to go do a live in our story. I got to tell you, some of the people that I have helped really absolutely catapult their business was when I said, go do a live and just be you. And they're like, but wait a minute, I got to get my hair and I got to get a background. I got to get a green screen. I'm like, no, go be you. Go do you, boo. Am I even saying that right? Is that even the right way to say it? Here's my point. If you just go do you, the world will be amazing. You don't hate public speaking. You don't. You don't hate public speaking. You hate the memory of your experience of some moment in public speaking. Ooh. Oh, go do you, boo-boo. 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 I love you all. Thanks for being fun out here. Have you ever felt self-conscious about eating or drinking in public at a table by yourself? If you travel, I travel a lot. There's times where, well, let's just put it this way. One year I did 118 flights on American Airlines. I did 118 flights on Alitalia. I was in the air a lot. I was almost in the air more than I was on the ground. But that means you travel a lot. That means you sit at restaurants. Natalie, awesome. But I can promise you there's some ladies who won't do that. You know some. Yeah, Monica, you attract the wrong dudes just because you go out. So you're like, it's not worth it. I can tell you this. I'll give you this, Monica. The way that your energy shows up, just a shift in your energy will stop those goofballs from coming over. No, I'll eat wherever, whenever. And here's the thing, Gift, absolutely. There's some people like that. You're entrepreneurs. I'm guessing you're like that, but follow me on this. Y'all ready? A lot of you are doing this saying, no, I really don't care. Watch this. What do you think the chances are your prospect, the person you're about to go talk to today, who's not on a call like this, who's not on a nano call after this, that's not working on building themselves, who's sharpening their saw every day, what do you think the chances are they like to publicly speak? They see you having a conversation. They see you out there talking and you being able to present your business and talk about words of amazing grace and how your industry is a global connected pips and dips and all of this stuff. And they're sitting there going, oh, what the hell? I can't do that. How many of you could be behind this mic right here doing what I'm doing, having some fun? That's all you're doing. Listen, if you want to get into a battle of wits, I've got some experience. If you want to have a battle of wits, I'd encourage you not to show up to a gunfight with a knife. But I don't need to be here to show you how smart I am, to show you how many big words I can do. What I'm here to do is to show you, let's just have some fun with a conversation. Can I do what Zig Ziglar says, transference of enthusiasm? Can I sell you? Can I put enthusiasm back in you so you can have more of what you want and less of what you don't? The fear of being popular, man, that was me. Oof. There was no chance I was ever going to be popular, but the fear of it. Do you feel people would look at you or make you feel uncomfortable? Yeah, I used to be that way. Now, see, how many of you know that if you're this outgoing person, sometimes we're very shy when it gets real, when it gets like, there's sometimes in my own house, folks, I'm just being just straight up with you. Some of you know this, some of you don't. There's sometimes in my own house, I have to come into my office when there's a party going on in my house. There's a shift that happens, and I can't be out there with everybody. They're either talking about something that's either some negative energy that was going on, or they're having a fun with a game they're playing. I don't know, or some kind of game they're playing, and I don't like to, it's hard for me to fit into the middle of something. Oh, come on, sit down. And I'll go, yeah, I'll be in, and I'll go to the kitchen and clean dishes. There's just something about us folks who get out there and show up in the public, but man, we become introverted like, oof. And that trigger is hard for us to overcome because we are kind of an all or nothing out there in your face kind of scenario. Have you ever felt uneasy about being overdressed or underdressed? Ladies, this is a tough one. What are they wearing? What are they wearing? And you show up, oh, look at that dress. Or have you ever showed up in the same outfit and you're like, yeesh. Yeah, not anymore. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm telling you, so here's what I'm sharing with you. A lot of you are, you did that at prom. What I'm talking to you about is this. What I'm talking to you about is this. You get it. You understand it. You work on this. You've been sharpening your saw. Please don't say you're in the grind. Anything you put in the grind comes out less than. Not a single one of you are less than. Please don't ever say I'm in the grind today. I'm going to grind today. I don't ever want you to be in the grind. The grinder crushes stuff up. It crushes your ability. That's somebody's slang that says, man, it sounds like I'm working hard. No, you're getting ground up. We do that to beef. We do that to beef, man. I'm in the grind. For what? Why would you be so stupid to be in the grind? Now, I mean no disrespect. I understand the intention of it, but every word has a meaning. Every word has a meaning. Absolutely, Tanisha. Every word has a meaning. Don't get into the grind. Sharpen your saw. Figure out another way to say it. Man, you grinding today? I'm grinding today. I'm watching these videos going, why the hell would you be grinding today? That sounds like I'm dragging something behind my car. I take my car in if there's something grinding. It's broken. The trenches are okay, but here's the thing. Vincent, is the trenches, you're stuck in the trenches. Why would you ever get in the trenches? Do you want your people in the trenches? That means they're stuck there too.
It sounds tough.
Yeah, well, it sounds tough, but guess what? All right, LaToya, you hit it. It sounds tough. Nobody wants to be in the trenches. Well, you're damn right nobody wants to be in the trenches, because who wants to do that? You want to know why nobody's following you? Because you're in the damn trenches. It's okay to use it every now and then. Man. So people ask me, what do you do? Oh, I'm working with so many people today to help sharpen their saw. I got to go get a new grindstone because so many people are taking so much wisdom. I got I don't know how many of y'all are here this morning, 127 on here this morning. Listen, I do not want to put you in the grind. I do not want to take you in the trenches. I want to free you. I want to help you step out, step up, step into your greatness, step into your joy. You can't do that from the trenches. I want you to hear I'm going to speak my faith, the word of God pouring into you. The only reason you're here is because there's a higher spirit that says you need to be here. Whatever you believe in, whatever power you believe in, you're here this morning because you have a message to deliver. It's not my message, it's your message. But the message comes through you. If you're hearing voices in your head, you are not schizophrenic. You are hearing your higher power tell you, you are better than this. You are stronger than this. You need to be an example of this. Why is everyone's name Vincent Owens today? Yeah, my son did some training on WW1. That's where it came from. So let's see here. What else is going on? Have you ever failed to correct somebody who you knew was wrong for fear of making them angry? Now, again, I know some of you are going to say, no, I do that. But you do it in a way that doesn't make them angry. How many of you respond to engage or respond to get them fired up? Sometimes, listen, negative is just as good a motivator as positive. Yeah, man, I got to tell you, I can do that instantly with Mason. Say something, iPhone, that's what it shows up. iPhone, I could say something that I could instantly respond in such a way that just absolutely cuts you to the quick. I have to watch my words around my son because I want him to be better. I want him to be stronger. And sometimes it's easy to pick out to find fault with him. But I do have to do it in a way that's constructive. I've had to work on that because they play video games. I know, but I didn't do it right. So therefore he shouldn't do it. Well, I can't imagine what his kids are going to do that are going to be even make video games look like they are okay to be played. I just don't know. So, hey, Rich. Oh, okay. There's Rich. Love you, Rich. Is this helping, folks? Is this making sense? Cool. Thank you, Rhonda B. Rhonda B. Parker. So here's some requirements. Was that the last one? Yeah. So here's some requirements. Here's some suggestions. Hey, Taylor, I get it. And listen, if you see something spelled wrong on me, send me a note. Because there's two things that are happening if you're holding back somebody's spelling or correction. It's hard to correct people. Fatu, was this the one you wanted or the one previous to that? It's hard to correct people, but if you can do it.
One, thank you.
Okay. It's the way you ask them this question. So Taylor, you might say something to the effect of, hey, listen, if there's a chance I can help your message ring true, not be lost in communication, if I ever find a way to do that, would you want me to share that with you? Oh gosh, yeah, absolutely. Listen, so sometimes I have some friends who've helped me on it. If I make a spelling error, they have permission to share with me that correction. If I ever see that in yours, would I have the permission to help you with that? Oh gosh, yes. Now when you correct them, it's not to find fault with them. But you know, if chances are, if they spell things wrong on a regular basis, you can ask Rhonda. I spell things wrong like all the time. It's like code. It's like secret code. What did he say there? Oh, I speak Sean. I can tell you what he said. But if you ask them that permission, kind of like the 3 questions I asked you when we started, permission to help, make you feel uncomfortable, take you out of the uncomfortable feeling. If you set the stage, you can have a conversation with people just about anything. So some requirements. Understand our species. There you go. Hey, Taylor, you want to help me fix that grammar? Understand our species. Us as human beings, we're designed to connect. We're wired for community. When we leave a community or join a community, we build a reputation. Think about that. If we're engaged and we've got somebody who loves us and we're a couple, we're not married, but we're a couple, we're going steady. How about that for a 1950s reference? We're going steady. What do you guys call it now? What would be boyfriend and girlfriend? What's the terminology now? I don't know. So you leave boo, okay. So you got your boo, but now all of a sudden you're boo-less, right? You left your boo. Power couple. All of a sudden you broke up. Now you're in a new reputation. You've left that community of being a pair. You follow me? Now, so I can't believe it. My brother, one of the most challenging parts, it's in my first book, Mom and Dadpreneurs, that I'm a co-author in. My first book, I talk about my experience when I was 14 years old when my oldest brother came out. This is 40 years ago. Yeah, 40 years ago. When my brother came out. And he had a friend come home from high school with him, and he said, aren't you going to tell your mom you're gay? That was 40 years ago. It's still tough today. So all of a sudden you leave this community and you become part of that community. See, the reputation is not who we are, it's what others think we are. You follow me? How could somebody you care about, all of a sudden when they broke up with your best friend, they now become a witch on a broomstick, or they become some kind of jackass? They were a good person before, but now they're not. Why? Because they changed the community they're a part of. See, you're in a community called entrepreneurism. You're in a community of global thinkers, of worldwide thinkers. You're in a community of worldwide changers. Is that prospect sitting across from you who's trying to figure out how to work 9 to 5 and get by? They're sitting down with you because an extra $200, $300 a month would change their life dramatically. And they see you as this entrepreneur who sees the world totally different. They don't know that 2 days ago you were in the same community. You just started. But it's not about this whole thing is not about what we say or they say to us. It's about what we say to ourselves after they stop talking. Introspection is required to sit down, take a look, to look where you fear to look. That's the hard part. I'm telling you, where you fear to look, where you fear to hear what you need to say about yourself. Because I promise you, these old stories you have aren't going to be real, aren't going to be true. They're not going to show up that way. So responses to your approval voice. When did it serve me? Did it ever serve me? Disloyal is only feedback. Disapproval is only feedback. I can take feedback. How many of you can take feedback? I can take feedback. Is this rejection because I've outgrown their vision of me? Ooh, somebody write that down. That's I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. That's facts right there. Can I say that? Am I cool enough to say that today? Okay, Francis, hang on just a second. I'll put it up here in just a second. That's all. Where does the rejection stem from? Inside them or unreal? Oh, I love this one. When I type this, where does this rejection stem from? Inside them or unrealistic expectation in me? Man, these hit you hard. Have I attached my self-worth to this outcome? What is the lesson, and am I teaching it or learning it? Sometimes we think we're teaching a lesson when we should be sitting our butt down and going, what have I learned from this? Even in teaching, even in me doing these calls, right? I've done 315 of them. I'm teaching every day, but man, I am learning. I'm learning how to engage with you all. I'm learning to watch your smiles, watch your body language, see who interacts in the chat. I'm learning every second. I'm sucking this up. If I don't feel bad about the situation, who will I make feel bad? How many of us have the Joan of Arc complex? Oh, I don't want anybody else to feel bad. I'll feel bad for them. I don't want them to feel bad. Ladies. I know it's stereotypical. But man, if you were ever told that you wanted to do something for yourself when you were little, you said, that's being selfish. I'm going to ask you to change that word. Write down this word, self-full. You watch a movie that you like, you listen to a song, you get your jam on, you get your body swinging and swaying, and somebody goes, what are you doing? Have you lost your mind? Yeah, I have. I'm being self-full right now. Is this the only emotion I can experience in this moment of awareness? Yeah, self-full. It's an awesome term. I coined that probably 15 years ago. Because my organization is, like most organizations, is 90% women. I had to learn how to communicate. Sometimes people say, oh my God, you're like a woman. And I say, thank you. Oh, thank goodness. I appreciate that. Finally, I understand part of the world. Do I really mean really give an F? Do I give a flip? I don't know what you were thinking. What were you thinking? Do I give a flip what they think? So here's the previous slide. So all of this to say, as we have these, and again, the recordings are going to be up. You can go to my Instagram account, and in the bio there's the Telegram link. Get on that, and this recording will be there as well. So here's the challenge. We're wrapping this up. The fear of realizing how much we do it. Oh, the addiction to approval. There's the fear. When you sit down, you're going to have to go through these 4 stages, right? Jim Rohn said it best. Summer follows spring. It always will. And fall follows summer. It's got to. Yes, it will be posted on YouTube. It's going live to YouTube right now, and it'll be there. Absolutely, gift. It's my IG is right there in the bottom left-hand corner of that. It's at Sean G. Murphy now. At Sean G. Murphy now. Testing 1, 2, 3. So the fear, you're going to have to go through the sadness. Spring is the fear. Summer is the sadness. Oh, why did I do this to myself? Why do I beat myself up all the time? Listen, you're going to go through it. You need to be around. You need to be available. You got to go through it. You got to hang out in it. You got to be able to hang out in it. And then, so then here's the reality. Once you go through fear and sadness, just like any breakup, right? You got to break up with your old self. You're going to get excited. Oh my gosh. You're going to be aware of how often you ATP, addicted to approval. And it's going to become the new norm. Now, let me let you in on a little secret. If 9 out of 10, if we're a 9 out of 10 of being approval to somebody else's, addicted to somebody else's approval, if we get you to 6 out of 10, man, that's you are in the top 1% of income. Olympic, I have a very dear friend of mine who I'm going to bring on here one day. Her name is Amy Emmy. She teaches Olympians archery, how to shoot arrows. She's an Olympic trainer. And some of the things we were talking about yesterday in our conversation, she's talking about making girlfriends not be around because you got 1 shot, 4 years to get 1 shot to get it right, to become an Olympic champion, to win a gold medal, a silver medal, a bronze medal. 4 years. Let me ask you, how long is it going to be till you go sponsor somebody? Hopefully it's not 4 years. So now the new normal becomes being an example to others. Many of you ladies, many of you have broken so many addictions. You've become these strong, powerful, strong Latino women, strong American women, strong African-American women. You've stood up. You've stood out. You've said, I'm going to be me. Here's the challenge. There's still... Paulo Coelho, in his book, Manuscript Found in a Craw, said this. The main character copped. They asked him, but what about the battle? He said, the battle? Listen carefully. The scars you carry are stronger than any sword that created them. Because I'm getting chills. The scars prove you won the fight. You lived through the battle. So many of you have scars you're hiding, your vulnerability. Your scars are stronger than the sword that created them. You've been through hell and back. You know what? Sometimes people think you're just this amazing soul who popped in this moment, as beautiful as you are, as strong as you are. Let me let you know, oh, hell no, you ain't. You've been through hell and back. You've been through the washer, the wringer, the dryer, the washer, the wringer, the dryer. You've been run over. You've been stepped up. You've been thrown out. And you still stand strong in your shoes. You still stand gracious in your beauty. Why? Because you know that's what you want to do. It's what you need to do. The challenge is most people can't see that desire. They can't see that joy in you. They don't know what you've been through. And the second you tell them what you've been through, how many of you have ever told your story to somebody and they look at you and they go, I didn't know. Oh my God, I had no idea. And you instantly find this bond, this connection, because they've been through the same shitstorm as you have. Your life is so important. Who you are is so amazing right now. The fear is sometimes we don't have a place where we can go feel vulnerable. We can go be ourselves, because we've put on this facade. We've put on this, I can bring home the bacon, fry it up in the pan, right? You created this persona. Sometimes you got to show up in your sweatsuit. You just got to show up. Yeah, absolutely. Why? Because it makes you real. You're so amazing. I appreciate you. So what's your discipline? Here's some suggestions. Journaling. Become the observer of our addictions. Meditation. Give your brain some time to store the good parts of your life. I was on a conversation with somebody yesterday. I said, write down 100 things that you've succeeded at. Write down 100 things that you've won at. Write down 100 things that you've done that somebody said there ain't no way you're going to get it done. Because all too often we forget about our own successes. Flash people get fat. Describe your experiences in your words. And the principle of Kaizen, if you haven't heard of that, it's a Japanese principle. It says this: 1/10 of 1% improvement every day. 1/10 of 1% improvement every day. Not even 1%. Some of you are striving too hard. Some of you are working too hard and you break. But if you just do steady, right? Be the turtle, the steady, consistent, constant growth, 1/10 of 1% improvement, constant improvement on a daily basis. The principle of Kaizen, guess what? In 10 days, you'll be 1% better. In 30 days, you'll be better. In 60 days, you'll be better. How many of you could stand a solid, consistent 30% growth in your income? Let's go be better in 2020. I'm Sean Murphy, founder of Mental Profits. I'll see y'all where? At the next event. But we ain't done. I'm just done with this presentation. Feedback.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. I thank you for touching on this topic, because I was not aware of this. But when you enlighten us on this, now you sit here and we could do a self-examination. Like, we could add it into a self-examination moment. Like, I know I will self-examine myself, looking in the mirror, like not looking at blemishes and nothing. I literally will have a conversation with myself, and I know that it awakens that inner me, within. And I thank you for just bringing this to the light, man.
Again, there's I do 2-day seminars on this topic of addiction to approval. It is such a thing. And then there's a 12-week class that we do offline, or we do online, but we do outside of the meeting, that allows us to go through that. It's criminal how we beat up ourselves. We wouldn't say these things to our dog. We just wouldn't. Elijah, the name of the book was Manuscript Found in a Craw by Paulo Coelho.
Yes, he also wrote a book called The Alchemist. Yes, I have that book as well.
Yep.
I read it like 5 times.
Yeah, it's a great book.
Yes.
Good morning,
awesome.
Sean.
Who else? What'd you learn? What'd you like?
Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Nano.
How you feeling this morning?
Oh, man, if I was any better, I'd be you, brother.
That's awesome. Man, I've heard you do this training. I think this is my second time around for sure. And I remember when you first did this training, I was at the fear stage, realizing how much, I did it. And I remember, you did this training, and I remember when you did it, I remember texting you and telling you, like, Sean, thank you so much for this training. It opened so much eyes up for me. And then, I noticed how I've kind of been through the stages of the sad, and then how I jumped into the excited, and now I'm at the normal. So, now I'm being the example for others, and being able to teach it to others that, we shouldn't care, and we shouldn't have the addiction to approval for others. So that's awesome. I liked what you said, and every time I hear it, it's even more powerful. The scars you carry are stronger than the sword that created them. So, I really, really like that. And, the discipline that you taught was key, because, I was like, damn, I'm actually doing these things, journaling, meditation, describing my experiences, and the principle of Kaizen. Every single day I work on, 1/10 of 1%, every day I just focus on becoming 1% better. And everything's been going great. So I'm definitely grateful for this call. It's crazy that you're 315 calls into this. So I'm just grateful that, I've been at least 100, maybe 100 and something into it, 150 maybe. But I'm excited for what's to come for us, Sean. So thank you for this. This call was awesome.
I appreciate it. And listen carefully. The reason these calls are amazing, it's not because of me. It's because of every one of you. I'm serious. This is not about how good I am. This is about how good you make me. And I want you to know that every one of you are critical to my success. And when you show up here, you're all pouring energy into me. When you learn how to get the energy from the audience and feed it back to them, the reason you get nervous is sometimes we're not ready for the love. We're worried about what they're going to say. I got to tell you, oh my gosh, when you get on stage, you're already on stage. You're already there. You don't need to you don't need to prove anything. You're the one. My daddy said this. Listen carefully. You may want to write this down. The one with the pen makes the income. Ooh, the one in front of the room with the pen makes the income. Get in front of more rooms. Get in front of more Zooms. Get in front of more places where you can go be you. But the reason that we get nervous is we think that we need to prove something. You're already on stage. You got to prove nothing. People are and listen, this whole thing about we need you to tell your story. Yeah, it's going to be tough. You can tell it in pieces. I don't know if Heather Love is on here, but Heather Love has this story. Oh my gosh. 13 years ago, I think it was. She went on a vacation to Cali, Colombia. This guy said, I'm taking you on vacation. I'll pay for everything. We're going to a beautiful resort on the beaches. She wound up at the airport with drugs in her suitcase and wound up in a Colombian prison. I mean, a nasty Colombian prison for 3 years. She didn't tell anybody that story for 13 years. She came on this call not too long ago.
I remember.
Probably 5 months ago, and she told her story for the first time. You want to talk about somebody who was scared, somebody who was sweating in their shoes? I mean, sweat was running down, filling up her boots, talking on this group. But now all of a sudden she had a trip to England. They interviewed her. They're now starting to want to do follow-up interviews with her and TV shows about her. But for 13 years, she thought nobody would want to hear this. Nobody would want to care. Some of you have similar stories. Some of you have just as many stories that'll absolutely bring us to our knees. This addiction you have to the approval, let us fall in love with you. You want our approval? Let us fall in love with you. I'm tired of falling in like with people. I don't have time to fall in like with people. I only have time to fall in love with people. Nano showed up. I fell in love with him. I know that sounds crazy, two guys talking, Matt, but I do have a bro crush on him, a man crush on him. I absolutely love this stud. But I don't have time to fall in like with people. Exactly, Monique.
Bromance.
But if we
Sean,
do this, go ahead.
No, I'm gonna let you finish. Sorry.
No. Listen, all I had was fill in space, brother. I appreciate it. Go ahead, Vincent.
So good morning, Sean G. Good morning, Misfits. Man, it was amazing morning. Woke up at 5 a.m. As scheduled. Read Desire and Think and Grow Rich, and just seen a lot of talk about desire in the chats and just all throughout my life, or today, period. Especially after reading that chapter, so it kind of just pulled everything together. So thank y'all so much. I kind of want to say I appreciate you, Sean, really putting this thing in motion for me. Like I have a goal, and my goal within the next 10 years is to be the #1 motivational speaker, African-American motivational speaker in the world. It came out of nowhere. It's a burning desire. I'm going to make it happen. I have a training with a guy who's trained by Eric Thomas on Saturday to do a Zoom call with him to kind of talk and see where I can go to really help him and be of service in what he's doing already. But,
Let's get it.
You know what the crazy thing is, Mr. Murphy, is I kept telling myself, you're not a motivational speaker yet. And when you put it in terms of when you signed up your first sponsor, when you're sponsored the first person, you are then a paid motivational speaker. That did something for me. That really put fuel in that really put some fuel in me. And I guarantee you that I will be the #1 African-American motivational speaker in the world within the next 10 years. It's going to happen in this decade. And I want to say that it's all from this call. This call really started it for me. So I just want to tell you that when I pop up billboard to billboard, and you hear Vincent Owens, the canopreneur everywhere, Mr. Murphy, just know that it was because of you, and it was because of Nano, and it was because of everybody else on this call for y'all believing in me. So thank y'all so much. I love y'all. Thank you for your time. And yo, don't be in the trenches. Y'all get the hell out the trenches. All right.
I'm already out.
And stop being on the grind. All right. All right. That's
But doesn't it feel better, Vincent, to say that, to say it a new way, come up with something new?
Yes.
Listen, because you are an influencer, and I'm going to say this right off the bat. What about us white folk? We don't get to hear you? I need you to be #1 in the world, baby. I don't need you to just keep it in your culture.
No. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it in my culture. I'm going to expand. No. Because you said something yesterday. You said that we need to have white people in our corner. We need to have Asians in our corner.
Good.
We need to have everybody. So I'm not here to love on one community, because there's only one race, and that's the human race.
Got it. So then just I take out because again, it's nomenclature. The African American, just be the #1 speaker.
I'll be the #1 speaker in the world.
There you go. I'm all for that. I'm on that boat.
Like Napoleon Hill said. So I'm going to say it right now. Sean G, I'm gonna meet you at the I'll meet you at the grandstand. No, I'll meet you at the grandstand, and I'll pass you. So I look forward to seeing you at the top, big bro.
I love it. Thank you. Hey, listen, I appreciate you being here, because here's what I know. For you to say that, for you to share that, for you to give this call credit is only because you got a little bit more connected with that big spirit upstairs. I'm just saying. This is it ain't me. I'm a farm boy from Ohio. I'm just a tool. I'm a pretty good tool that guys got to use, and I'm okay. If I need to be a shovel, I turn out to be a shovel. If I need to be a pick, I'll be a pick. If I need to be a punching bag, I can do that. So let's all go do this together. I would implore us, I would encourage us all to realize what we have in our hands, what graces we have. We have the ability to literally change this world. We can stop complaining about it, and we can start going to do something about it. I would encourage you all to figure out how to communicate with each other on a regular basis. Come to these calls. If you need something, you need something. Let's go help you. If you need some energy, you need some praise. Right now, I'm going to ask somebody, if there's somebody on here out of the 117 people, 16 people on here, if somebody's feeling a little bit down today, just type a D in the chat and let us send some love to you. Let us energetically lift you up. We've got enough greatness on this call that we can reverse, we can promote, we can give you some. Brittany needs some, and Leah needs some. Let's send some love to them. Absolutely. So we're here to help you through this process. This is what a community does. You don't have to sit here and say, I'm not good enough. Use our energy and take it from us. Take it from us. We're willingly giving it to you right now so that you can have more of what you want and less of what you don't. Pull from this energy. It's okay for you to be more. If you're not feeling good right now, ask yourself, is it okay if I feel better? If you make that decision, then right now you will do that. You will have more of what you want, because everybody here wants you to have more. You can take anything from us because we have the ability to restore ourselves each and every moment. With every breath, we breathe in faith. With every exhale, we exhale doubt and fear. Faith and courage in. So right now, we're sending you tons of faith and courage. Mike Mason sometimes hears me on these calls. He goes, are you holding church in there? What are you doing? I go, we're having a revival of some kind. We're putting a tent up, passing the plate. Something's happening in here. I have no idea. Anyone else? What'd you learn? What'd you like?
Hey, Sean.
Hey.
This is actually my second time on your call.
Where'd it go, Stanley?
I just want to say I'm very grateful for you and Nano. I was on his call. I think it was Tuesday that you joined him. Yep. And I really liked the call. So I was like, yeah, I have to get on Sean's call every single morning. So yesterday was my first time, and today was. So one thing I like that you said today was that we're here to deliver the message. And I really like that, because not a lot of people not only could wake up at 7:30 to hop on the call, but a lot of people, they just aren't in the opportunity, so that you don't have the chance to get like the Zoom link. So one thing that you said yesterday was, talk to yourself. I think like you're your best friend. So I saw one of my best friends Snapchat earlier. She said she's so ugly that it hurts herself, and I responded saying that hurts me. Her saying that, because I know how powerful our thoughts are, and her saying that is really gonna destroy her. You were also talking about constructive and destructive. She's destroying herself by saying that. So I told her, would you talk to me like that? Would you call me ugly or speak negative about me? She said, absolutely not. So I said, I need you to have that same energy with yourself. Treat yourself like you're your best friend. Treat yourself like anybody else, and don't talk about yourself like that. Tell yourself, I am beautiful. I am amazing. I am the best in the world. And just really speak those affirmations, because I could show you real quick. I have affirmations on my wall so that every morning I could read them. I have my goals, and it really helps me out a lot. And I've told her every morning, just start off the morning like that, telling yourself you're beautiful and you're great. And it would really start bringing positivity to your life and help you out a lot. And I just want to say I'm grateful for you. And, you know, I hop on the calls every morning, and I really appreciate it. And it helps my mindset a lot. And I know it does help a lot of people. So for the 112 people on the call, I just want to say, deliver the message. We get a lot of nuggets and gems from here. Send it out to the world. Tell people every single day what you heard this morning, because it can help a lot of people out. So thank
Stanley,
you.
I love you, brother. Do me a favor, Stanley. Do you have that girl? Do you have her phone number in your phone?
Yes, I do.
Do me a favor. Send her a text right now saying, I was just on a call and I told 112 people how beautiful you are. And just leave it at that.
Okay.
And then I want to see what the response is that comes back if she responds while we're still on here.
Okay, I will.
Appreciate you.
No problem.
Can I say something?
Go ahead,
Stanley?
Fautu.
I felt that. I appreciate you so much, because when I was in my lowest of the lowest, I had people tell me the same thing. And just that little nugget right there, I believe that you changed her whole life. I think someone just needed to tell her that, and that someone was probably you, because sometimes we talk to people or say something, but we don't always connect with them. We need to hear it from that specific person, or that specific person says it in that specific way. And the way you put that, it was in so, like, the words that you said was so simple, but yet so powerful. And I'm so appreciative of you reaching out to her and saying that, man. That was beautiful. I appreciate that.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that.
This is awesome. But see, together now, these two energies between Stanley and Fautu is amazing, because the young girl who got the message, right now she's feeling something and she doesn't even know why. It's because people are falling in love with her. We don't need to know her to fall in love with her. We'll take your faith on it. That's what faith is. I'll follow you. If you say that she's somebody I should love and fall in love with, done. Absolutely sending her tons of grace right now. Folks, this is what we get to do. If you use the words, I have to, you've taken away your joy. You've decided to give your joy away to somebody else. I have to go to work. No, you get to go to work. I have to work overtime. No, you get to work overtime. I have to prospect. You get to prospect. Have to is a chore. You're absolutely right, Steph. But if you get to, people spend 50 weeks of their life to get to go on vacation. You know how many vacations they could take if they get to go to work? Oh my gosh. I don't have to do these calls. Y'all aren't paying me. You're paying with the most precious thing you have, your time. But I get to do these calls. Do you know how much joy I'm in? I can't even sleep. I woke up at 3:45 this morning. Went to bed I think at 1. Woke up just straight up. Alexa, the alarm didn't go off. It was set for 4. I said, Alexa, who knows you can whisper to Alexa, cancel my alarm. Your 4 a.m. alarm is canceled. I love that. Makes me laugh. I feel like a little kid. What else? Anyone else? What'd you learn?
Sean, good morning.
Good morning.
Sean, I love you. And I love everybody on this call. Thank you so much for this amazing call. I feel great. I woke up so early today. No, new year, new me.
I love you, Melissa.
I'm getting back to my old ways. And I just wanted to say I appreciate you in this call. I definitely heard something that it has a lot to do with, you know, the people my age and things like that. Is like people have the fear of, what is it? not saying that they don't want to go to college or getting into a relationship or having kids and things like that because they're scared of what people are going to think of them. And that's literally like everybody in my age range, right? And I hear so many times like, oh, I'm just going to get this diploma for my mom. I'm just going to do this. I'm not really happy. So why are you doing it? Like, people just, they're scared to hear, they're scared to hear other people's opinions of them. But that's something that that affect me because I didn't go to college. And like me and my sister are complete opposites. Like, my sister's in school, my sister's in college, but the thing is that she doesn't even know what she wants to do, and she's in her 4th year. She's just doing it just because that's the norm. And then me, on the other hand, I'm like, what I want to do in life I don't need a college degree for it, so I'm not going to do it. I don't care what nobody thinks. And, my mom and my grandma are always the ones that are telling me, go to school, get a job, follow the norm, and I'm not going to do that. But that's because I don't fear that that sense of, approval when it comes to that. But of course, there's certain things I do, which is what I'm working on, which is why I really love this call. Every time I hop on a call that I haven't been on in a long time, they talk about something that speaks to me. It's crazy. But I just wanted to say I appreciate you so very much, and I still love you.
I love you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Sean, I have a question.
Sure, go ahead. I'll give you 6 answers. You pick which one you like.
So your consistency is unmatched, right? I've honestly, I thought I was consistent, but your consistency is unmatched. And I want to know, how is it that you're able to get through that voice that we get when we don't want to do something and you still do it? Because I know there's times, I don't know if you even get this anymore because you're probably already programmed to just go wake up and do it. But, I still have these times when I wake up and it's like, oh, man, like, do I really have to do this? And, like, do I really want to wake up? Should I just stay in bed? Sleep in one day is okay. If I slack off one day, it's not. How do I get, how did you get through that stage of just program 315 calls straight, 7 days a week, no days off? Doesn't matter where you are. You could be in the Bahamas, you could be in Michigan, you could be anywhere. It doesn't matter. How did you get through that? Because I know that's something that a lot of us on this call, I'm sure, want to have that consistency, because that consistency is what, gets you to that level of achievement that you've been able to achieve in this business and life within your personal self and business. So how were you able to go through that? What was the process like? In the parking lot of McDonald's, it doesn't matter, it's just no excuses. So how did you get to that? Because that's what I strive to be and want to do as well.
So I'll give you a something that you may want to chew on for a little bit. You've forgotten how good you are. Think about that for a second. So write that down. I forgot how good I am.
No,
I need you to hear that. Here's the other thing I need you to hear. When I hear, so what if I didn't show up today? Vincent would not have made his affirmation, his declaration that he's going to be the #1 speaker in the world. My life would have been destroyed if I heard that 20 years from now going, dude, I was waiting for you on January 3rd back in 2020 and you didn't show up. That could have changed my life. Now, I'm not responsible to him. I'm not responsible for him. I'm responsible to him. When I make this decision to be responsible to you, I can't decide what you all do with this information. It's my gold. You go mine it and smelt it and turn it into yours. I'm great with that. But I can't be responsible for you, because if I'm responsible for your success, I'm also responsible for your failure. I can only be responsible to you. So if I'm going to be responsible to you, if I'm going to be a drug in your life of motivation, of inspiration, of aggravation, of discipline, then I better show my ass up, because we've made a lifetime agreement. I'm going to be here. If one person shows up, what's that thing we always say, Nano? If just one person, it makes a difference. I hope every day, at least one person, I make a difference. That's what drives me. That's why I can't stop. I can't stop, won't stop. Because somebody's going to hear this message. Somebody's going to hear this and say, that's what I needed today. And it's not because they heard it from me. It's because they showed up at the right time, and I was the lucky one to give them the message. I'm just the lucky one. Y'all here, the 100 of you plus here that are still here, I'm the lucky one. Y'all could be someplace else. Y'all should be someplace else. But you've decided to be here, so I'm the lucky one. I never look at it as, now I will tell you, Nano, this is you and me. I hope nobody else is listening. There are days I'm like, shit, I don't want to do this. There are days. But then you know what? I think of a Rhonda Bird Parker who's sitting there, who's got her absolute amazing family, and she's waking up and she's committed to show up on time here. I'm thinking of Vincent, who's driving in the car going, I got to get on Sean's call. I'm thinking, if I didn't show up today, I wouldn't see Dee Dee in that hair. Oh my God, how absolutely beautiful is that hair? I mean, how could I choose to miss this? Because it's always a choice. What that old story's telling you, Nano, is you're 26. You don't have to be consistent. You're 26. You don't really deserve all this success. You're 26. What makes me a leader? I'm going to say, throw all that shit in a bucket and go, well, I don't know what it makes. I don't know any of the answers to that. But what I do know is if I show up, I'll have some fun. Do you have fun on your calls, brother?
A lot of fun.
Then I don't know why you'd ever miss it.
Yeah, no, I can't miss those calls. Those, and trust me, there's times that, like you said, it's like, man, but it's like I hop on the call and that day I make an impact someone, because you once taught me your message is meant to be heard by some, not all.
Yep.
So some people will hear it, some won't. And, you know, there's times that, and it's funny, the times that I don't feel like doing the call, I do the call and I impact, I get an affirmation.
So listen to this, everybody. What he just said, listen to this. The days I don't want to do it, I make some of the biggest impacts. It's because the heart said, get your ass out of bed. Your brain said, just one day, sleep in. It tricks us. It tries to trick us. And if we push through that, the heart goes, nah, 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 nah. Look what we did. If we let our heart speak more, the heart is what drives us. The brain is what puts up the fear, false evidence appearing real, right? Or face everything and run, whatever meme you want to throw to it. It's because we stop listening to our hearts.
You always say, listen to our hearts.
Yep. A buddy of mine coined a t-shirt, fire your heart and hire your brain, Tom Chenault. See, I could have gave you that quote and not gave Tom the credit and Adrian the credit. I don't need the credit. I got the credit because I said it. I reference them. Whenever you say stuff, whenever you share stuff out, always reference where you get it. It makes you sound smarter, makes you sound like you got more friends than yourself.
Thank
Trey,
you,
go
Sean.
ahead. You got a question.
Hey, good morning, Sean. Good morning, Nino, and to the rest of the family. I just wanted to say, first of all, God bless all of y'all, and God bless Nino. He's actually the reason that I even know who Sean Murphy is.
Dude, I'm right there with you. I drop to my knees every day.
Yeah, it's the first call I got on with Sean, and I actually got to speak to you. And I'm ashamed to say I don't really remember what the topic was. I just remember we went off course so far, just laughing and joking. My car actually broke down a few months ago, so I take the bus to work and whatnot. And Nino, bro, please don't miss them calls, yo. Like, I be on the bus first thing in the morning or be at work on a lawnmower with headphones on, listening in. I can't, like, sometimes I'm not able to take notes, but everything is mental. Everything that hits my mental triggers to my heart. I promise you, bro. Everything that y'all do first thing in the morning gets my day going right. Besides the fact that I started waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning and saying Napoleon Hill's prayer for more wisdom and not riches. Man, you guys are lifesavers for real.
Appreciate that, Trey.
I mentioned Nino in one of the chats when like about 5 or 3 minutes to 9 o'clock. And I always tell him, let's go.
Yeah. I always wait for that message.
So Trey, I need you to hear this, brother. You're an amazing soul. And the world is at your front door knocking. And there's something you know right now inside of you. There's something that you need to do, a little shift that you need to do in your soul, in your presence, because you have this amazing voice. Listen, I showed yesterday's recording to my bride. We've been married 20 years. I call her my bride because I ask her every day if she'll marry me.
That's right.
But I showed her yesterday this call, the recording, and she's like, "Oh my God, where are these people from?" I go, "From all over the world, a lot of New York." I go, and I could tell what she was looking at. I go, "Aren't they all sexy? Aren't they just like the bomb.com? And she's like, how are all of these people in one place?" I go, "I have no idea. But boy, I got to tell you, the beauty that sits on this call that I get to look at, it's like,
yes, sir.
Dang, you guys would never talk to me if we were the same age, because it'd be like, that old goof." Anyways, but Trey, you're this amazing soul. Thanks for speaking up, brother.
Thank you, Sean.
Anyone else who's got something they want to share and you learned you like?
Good morning. Oh,
Hey, Taylor. Go ahead, Taylor.
oh, okay. All right, I'll go. So first of all, I just want to thank you so much for doing this call. It really made me put a lot of things in perspective. And, you know, every question that you asked us this morning, I think there was only one that I was like, no to. And so like I've only been with the company like the past like 3 months, and I've been trying to like find my footing as a leader really. And I've had a problem kind of like stepping on people's toes, I guess, as like some people would put it. And with me, I kind of tell myself that I'm trying to like spare other people's feelings. So your call this morning really made me kind of like reframe that and say, okay, how am I trying to spare myself? And yeah, so.
So Taylor, I'm going to encourage you, either if you wrote them down, but go back and listen to the recording. The 3 questions I asked you all in the beginning,
Right.
That'll keep you from stepping on people's toes. Because here's the reality. Their toes were already stepped on. You were the excuse for them to find the pain. Hold on, y'all. Love you. So the question, do I have your permission to help?
Yes.
Do I have your permission to make you feel uncomfortable? Do I have your permission to take you out of that uncomfortable feeling? If you use those 3 questions with anybody you talk to, I use those with CEOs when I get flown in to help them rewrite their company. Well, I use those with single moms. I use those with dads. I use those with Mason. I go, "Mason, I'm going to ask you the 3 questions." He goes, "Yes, yes, and yes." But if you ask those 3 questions, you can talk about anything, right? Because if I have your permission to make you feel a little uncomfortable, I can't step on your toes. You gave me permission. Now, you do have to keep your promise and take them out of that uncomfortable feeling.
Mm.
Right? That requires leadership. That requires mentorship.
Okay.
Right? That requires you getting better. That requires you knowing that their pain just became real. It's kind of like they all have sunburn and you're the sun that shows up and they're like, "Ah!" Right?
All right. Yes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, and I love your hair. And I know there's days you're like, "Oh, my hair. I wish I could do something with it," right? This is what happens. We all love sometimes what we have until we've had it too long. So I love you. Appreciate you. Thank you for your energy. Anyone else? Elijah, you were going to say something, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So a lot of people were saying today about like Stanley, for example, like how his friend, she didn't like understand herself. But it's like, you know, he asked her, "How would you feel about me?" It's like she knows how she feels about somebody else, but not herself. And then like Nino, it's like something's telling you, you know, "I don't want to do this." But when you do it, you see the impact you make. And what that really is all of us, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna reference the Bible. Jesus Christ, before he was actually born, he had a purpose. You know what I'm saying? Before you're placed on earth, you have a purpose. So all of us on this call, we all have a purpose that God gave us before we even knew what it was. So the thing is, a lot of times when you start to figure out what you want to do, it's like you just need to hear that certain thing, but now it's like you figure out what you want to really do in life, but it's really what God has you here to do. So what happens now is the devil, he can't stop you from your purpose. You know what you want to do, but what he can do, he can distract you from it. And that's what he does. He puts certain people in your place that tell you certain lies that if you don't understand who you are, who you understand yourself to be is what other people tell you, but you don't understand who you really are. What you really are is you're in God's perfect image. You know, you're a part of God. So once you realize that and you start to work in a way where you live more like God, then the devil has to keep working hard. He's like, "No, I don't want him. No, don't figure out who you are. Don't talk to people. No, don't get up and do this." Because the thing is, once you understand who you are, it's like you carry this grace within you. it's like the words you speak, just like you and I, you don't know what you're really saying. It's like, it's not you talking. God is talking through you. And the thing is, the devil doesn't want you to get up that morning because he knows that what you have to say is going to help somebody find their purpose. You're going to help somebody get closer to their destiny. And he doesn't want that. He doesn't want that. So it's like, it's whenever like anybody on this call, like if you feel like lonely and sad, don't isolate yourself, because that's when the enemy really can attack you and really just feed you all type of lies, because the enemy's native tongue is lie. You know, you always need to surround yourself with someone, because it's that one person that God's going to send for you to really speak to you. That's going to, you know, and that's what I feel like Stanley is doing for his friend. That's how it really works. You know, and that's what you do for a lot of us. It's like, you just need to hear that one thing from the right person, and you'll make a certain decision. So that's literally, Vincent, that's what just happened with you, you know? And that's how it works. That's how life is. And it's like, this decade is really it's just the shifting point of a lot of people's lives, because it's literally the new decade. Like, we're the start of the few that God's really just picking up to really shift our lives and show us like, hey, this is your purpose. Now for this next decade, do this, and watch how many people are going to start to shift along with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, network marketing, really what it is just life. You know what I'm saying? Everything we're doing is just life. And as you bring people into your organization, you just show them how to live life better. You know, me personally, in my organization, why it started to be more and more successful, even though I've been doing it for 3 months, but it's just, God has really let me see that, hey, just, you know what I'm saying, just show people how to live a better life, regardless of what they believe in. As long as you just preach faith into their life, you'll help them find their purpose. And that's like what I'm, driven to do. That's what I'm driven to do. Because it's like, as a Christian, I'm not supposed to force God. I'm supposed to enforce God. I'm supposed to show you, and it's choice. Choice is always, it's up to you to choose what you would like to do. But as long as I can deliver the message he wants to, for me to give to you, that's all. Eventually, you're going to find your way to where you need to go when it's your time.
So let me ask this question to everybody. Do you believe that your sponsor is an important person in your business? If you believe your sponsor is important, type an S. So I'm going to go to my friend Elijah, and I'm going to go to my friend Rhonda. Who's our ultimate sponsor? What do we have? What do we have to wait for?
Ultimate sponsor right up there.
Yeah. I mean, the ultimate sponsor. We've got sponsors in our business. I've had sponsors who I passed like week 2. Still loved them, still learned from them. But if you really believe in faith, and you have this faith and believe in a higher power, I call mine God, then isn't that the ultimate sponsor? How are they ever going to let you down? So I love y'all. Appreciate you, Elijah. Thanks for sharing. Who thinks like Elijah's like 110? He's got this wisdom of an old soul. Love it.
It's not me. It's not me doing that. I can't take credit for it.
I know, but that's why you can speak it. Anyone else? What'd you learn? What'd you like before I let you go this morning?
Hey, are we finished?
Not yet. Well, not yet, Shay, but Michael raised his hand, so go ahead, Michael. And
I apologize. Hey, I just wanted to introduce myself to you. My name is Michael.
Villanova in the house.
Yes. I don't go to Villanova, but my mom got me this tea, so I had it out there.
I love it. That should have that on the bottom.
Yeah, this is only my second time on the call, and I just wanted to say I'm very grateful to be on here. I want to shout out Nino for getting me on this call, because it just kind of changed my mornings, because like I obviously wanted to do something different 2020 and wake up earlier, and this is just another reason to wake up earlier. So this is only my second call, but I'll be on this call every single day, 365 days, the rest of 2020 with you, bro.
I appreciate that, Michael. Thank you. And so here's the thing. Every one of you today, and people who have jumped off as well, but every one of you today, please do something to reward yourself. I put cinnamon and turmeric in my coffee. That's my reward for doing these calls in the morning. Otherwise, it's just some coffee and some cream. And I don't need coffee to start my day, as you can imagine. But when I go to do a call, I rewarded myself this morning for yesterday's call, because there were so many amazing souls and all of the people I'm following up with on Instagram. So that's a little reward. Just do little things that you recognize as a reward for yourself, because you're doing it. We're here together, but you've got to leave from here. You've got to take the message and go forward. So give yourself a little reward and say, you know what? I deserve this. I appreciate that. Shay, go ahead.
Okay, sorry if you hear me ruffling. I'm trying to get her up off of school this morning. I wanted to say thank you. Nano, definitely. I actually ended up finding his cause in another chat that I was invited to. And I wanted to, I guess, encourage somebody today to be confident in your struggle, or to be confident in the things that we go through. Because from my personal experience, I never expected to be like a single mom of three. I never expected to go through some of the stuff I went through. But when I tell you, God is good for like connecting me to the right energies, right? The Zoom calls, the meetings, the opportunity within itself has been phenomenal. And if I look back, I was thinking on the call, listening to you all, listening to the things you were saying, and I was asking myself, would I do it all over again just to get on this call? And the answer would be yes. Because all my life, I wanted to be around energies and individuals that had the mindset, the goals, the admiration, the drive to do the unthinkable, right? So when I was younger, people would say, oh, you do this too much, or you got too much energy, or you got too much fire, killing. And I would feel like an outcast, like, well, I need to find people that will understand me, that have big goals, that think the impossible, and that want to change lives every day. So I wanted to say thank you for filling me up. It's like when I get on the call, I'm not even hungry anymore because I feel all the energy. I feel everybody's transition, everybody's mindset. And I just want to say thank you so much. I look forward to growing with everyone, and I look forward to learning more. And then thank you for bringing on these fire chairmen. Everybody just have this knowledge, and it's like they tell you what their struggle was, and it seems like their struggle is what pushed them to their success. And I appreciate that. Thank you so much, everybody.
Love you, Shay. Thank you so much. Monica, go ahead. Am I saying it right? First of all, am I saying your name right?
Monica, yes.
Monica.
You did the first.
Okay. I will fix that. Thank you, Monica.
This was my first time in here, and I really appreciate you, and I love you. But you did say something about scars, and when you said that, it did. My scar came in my mind, and I was wondering if I actually did forgive this person or if I did not.
So here's the challenge, and you've got the scar.
Right.
We see the scar.
Yes,
we hear the scar. All of the things that we do, but you've got to decide. I heard it once said, I think it was Epictetus that said that it's foolish to drink the poison hoping it kills somebody else. That was his best definition of forgiveness. You're drinking the poison, not forgiving them, hoping it kills them. It's not going to kill them. They really probably don't even remember they gave you the scar.
I do still talk to him, and I told him I forgive him, but I keep thinking about it, so I don't think I have.
It was just words. You didn't forgive yourself yet. Listen, you can forgive yourself for the feelings you've had up to this moment. You don't have to forgive them. You have to forgive yourself for carrying that pain around, because it's keeping you from your next step. It's keeping you from the next place you're going to step into, Monique. And it's this whole idea that you're this amazing soul that's being held back by a thought. Think about this for just a second. If you get emotional about talking about that individual, that person, they're not in the room. They're not in the room right now. You're having an argument with something that's not in the room. It's in your head. I'm not saying that it doesn't belong there. What I'm saying is that it doesn't belong to make you less. It doesn't belong to make you less. You're this beautiful, amazing soul that's playing at half of your capability, half of your capacity. Because if you stepped up and stepped out into your glory, into your grace, that old story wouldn't even exist anymore. So I'm going to ask you this. Is it okay if you have a new story starting today?
Yes.
What would you want the new story to be about?
New beginnings.
So today, this new beginning. So just like if you had a very dear friend, do you have a dear friend who's kind of like you, same age? Do you have somebody that's a good friend?
I have no one in mind right now.
Okay. So pick me. So you've got this good friend named Sean. And I say this to you. You know, I've got this scar that I carry around. I've got this pain that I carry around. And it's a burden. And I've forgiven the person, but I don't know really if I've forgiven myself yet. What would you guide me on? What would you say to me? If I just told you that, how would you advise me? How would you counsel me in that, with that question? What would you feed back to me?
Cry it out.
Okay. Yeah, but I've done that 1,000 times. I don't have any more tears left. What do I do now? Come on, you've got an answer. You've got some guidance. I may choose to do it or not do it. Don't worry about whether I'm going to do it or not do it. Just give me some feedback. I'm asking you. What would you guide me on? What would you counsel me on? What's something I could do today to start my new beginning? Remember, you're giving it to me. You're giving me guidance. What would you suggest to me?
To stay strong.
Okay. So what's something you use to stay strong that I could use? What's something that I could stand in today to be a little bit stronger? Is it something I should read, something I should listen to? Maybe
Family.
What's that?
Your family, probably.
My family. So I'm a lot like you. Who's somebody in my family that I could count on to give me strength? In your family, who do you use? Maybe I'll see if that works for me.
My sister.
Your sister. So I have a brother. So would it be okay if I use my brother and you use your sister? What would you say to your sister? Maybe I could use that language to say to my brother.
The scars make you. Scars are the thing that you carry that makes you stronger.
Okay. So what do you think your sister would say to you? Because I want to see if my brother might say the same thing to me. What would your sister say to you? If you told that to your sister, our scars are what make us stronger. How would she respond? So I could maybe anticipate what my brother might say.
Mm-hmm.
What would your sister say to you? I tell my brother, Jimmy, the scars are what make us stronger. What do you think he might say back to me? What do you think your sister might say back to you?
That you are so strong.
Okay. So would you believe that? Because I don't know if I'd believe that if my brother said that to me. Would you believe it if your sister said that to you?
Yes.
So where's your sister at?
Sleeping.
Okay. So is your sister older or younger?
She's younger.
She's younger. See, my brother's older. So, okay. So if you said that to your sister and she said, you're stronger than you think you are, would you let those words settle in on your heart? Would you let those words settle in on your belief? Would you let those words find you and give you the courage to believe you're stronger than you think you are? So say your first name for me again, because I want to make sure I say it right.
Monica.
Monica. Listen, everybody. Now, Monica, you just shared yourself with some amazing souls. There's about, how many folks are here? 80 folks. I need 80 people to send Monica some love right now. I need you to type out, you are strong. I need you to do that. Monica, you need to read this chat, my love, because this is people who don't know you, who are telling you. I need you to read that. Pick one and read it out. Pick their name and read it out to me right now. Say it.
Ralph, forgive yourself, love yourself more.
Okay, can you believe that?
Yes.
Okay, good. Pick another one.
You are stronger than you think you are.
Do you believe that? Look at that. Look at that smile. There's a first smile that I've seen on you, Monica. Read another one. Read another one for me. They're going by. Read them.
You are beautiful.
You are beautiful. Read another one.
You are a queen.
You are a queen. Say oh, heck yeah, I'm a queen.
I am a queen.
There you go. Read another one, Monica.
You have already won the battle.
How do you feel with that one? Wow, this is like you open the book of the Bible and it reads the right chapter to you at the right moment. Boy, you just read that one. You've already won the battle. What do you feel like you just won the battle? That old story's gone, girl. You won the battle. Say the battle is won.
The battle is won.
And say, I'm a champion.
I am a champion.
So let me ask you this. why are you a champion? Tell me why you're a champion right now.
Because of my past.
Yep. And your past has made you strong, right? You are this warrior princess. You are this warrior queen. Now, I know you don't hear that. Are you the oldest one in your family?
Yes.
Yeah. See, and how many little ones? Do you have just one sister? Or do you have more?
Just one.
Okay. And how old's your little sister?
She's 16.
So your little sister's 16. Do you think she goes through battles every day?
Probably.
Who do you think she looks to help her win her battles?
Me.
Yeah. So is it okay if we get a little bit stronger, if we all love you a little bit more, if we all fall in love with you, Monica, if we fall in love with you and let you know that we are your source, God is your source, we are your source, we are the voices of him, 100 different people who are telling you how great you are. Is it okay if you start to believe that? Because you don't have anybody to turn to. Is it okay if
That's right.
Is it okay if we pour into you?
Yes. Thank you so much.
And those tears you're gonna share, Brene Brown says it this way: the tears you share rinse off the armor you've been carrying. In this place, in this community, on this call, it's okay for you to be this individual who's sometimes scared, who has her scars. It's okay to come here and ask for love and ask for joy. Do me a favor. You may have never done this before, but could you just say this out loud? I need some love. Can you all help me? Say that for me.
I need some love. Can you help me?
It kind of feels weird to ask for help, doesn't it, my love?
Yeah. I'm never the one
to
ask.
So I want you to know it's okay to do it here. I want you to know it's okay for you to do it here. You can come you can come here every morning, and in the first thing in the chat, if you need it, just say, hey, it's Monica, I need some love, and let us pour into you. See, we've got more. We're trying to figure out what to do with all we got. We're trying to figure out where to put it. And so God can give us more. We're trying to figure out, where do we send this joy that we have, that we've been given, that, well, my gosh, I'm not even sure if I deserve it all.
That's right. Thank you so much for making me feel comfortable to share this. I try to hide my scar, but it's here.
Okay.
So
listen, we love your scar. You know why we love your scar? We don't love that you have one. We love it because it's you. We love it because it's yours.
Thank you.
Sean, can I say something?
You go, girl.
So, Monica, I want you to hear from a woman's voice. Sean is amazing by all means, and Sean is a light in this world, but you need to hear from another woman, because a lot of times women, we feel like we need our affirmations from men, but you need to hear from another woman. You are amazing. You have exactly what it takes to get through every trial and every tribulation that comes your way. You have this amazing presence about you. You have this glow, this skin that I'm very jealous of, this smile that when you flash it, it can remove all kinds of hurt from people. But you're scared to flash your smile because you think you don't have any reason to smile. And I want to tell you, as another woman, you have every reason to smile. You're still young, and you'll figure this out later. Scars, like stretch marks, just prove you've been living. And I need you to know how loved you are, how special you are. You're created for a very specific purpose, and you're walking in that. And from a woman to another woman, you are powerful, you are strong, and you are meant to be here. And I need you to be here and on this call and with us. So you hold your shoulders back, quit looking down. You're going to only look down if you want to see the cute shoes on your feet. The rest of the time, you're going to look up, and you're going to flash that smile, and you're going to go eye to eye with everybody that walks by you, because you are that important. And even though I don't know you personally, I can tell you right now, my heart loves you. And you are worthy of every bit of love that I'm sending you and everybody else is sending you. Walk tall, sister. Don't slouch or slump for anybody. You deserve it all. You are worthy.
I love you guys more. Thank you so much.
Thank
Sean,
you,
can
Rhonda.
you repeat? I'll be here every morning. Promise.
Okay. Shami, go ahead.
Can you repeat? I love that conversation, and I had a question, but I kind of answered myself.
Okay.
Can you repeat the tears? Because
So
I was gonna.
Brene Brown, in one of her amazing books, says the tears you shed are washing off the armor. See, all too often, we as individuals, we put on this armor and it makes us tough, but it also makes us unapproachable. It makes us somebody that absolutely can't be touched, and therefore we're never vulnerable. So when you cry, you wash off the armor. Brene Brown says it's okay to have a soft front and an iron back. But sometimes we've got the iron wrapped all the way around us, and we're like, why don't people get me? Why can't they see me? Why can't they hear me? It's because you're carrying around so much damn armor of your old story. You're afraid to be hurt. No one can hurt you.
So if I mentally feel like I've forgiven myself and anybody else for a lot of scars, and like I feel like but I haven't cried or haven't dealt with the emotions, then the forgiveness is not complete.
I'm not saying it's not complete. You may have a unique mindset that says, done. I lose animal. I grew up on a farm, and I've had the two dogs that sometimes you see in my videos, Beamish and Jameson, are our dogs. They're number 39 and 40. I can lose a dog and it really doesn't make me, it makes me sad, but I'm not like the first time. So you've become immune to it. Maybe you've been hurt so much, Shami, that you're over it. You're like, okay, there's another one. Next, you check the box. But what I will say is this. When you say you've forgiven them, did you forgive them at the word level or at the cellular level? Because the fact that you're asking it, it's still showing up in your body. I can still see it as micro inflections in your face when you talk about it, that there's still a pain, there's still a vindication, there's still a justification that you need to be heard. Maybe today, just you saying that was enough for you to be heard so that you no longer have to worry about that. Because see, the fact that you're thinking maybe you needed to cry, maybe you really haven't forgiven them yet. Maybe you have. Maybe you have.
I always hold back crying, and I know that's not too good.
Well, it's not that it's not good, but if you're holding it back, that's the issue. If you want to scream and yell at me, and I say this because I love you, I love everything about you. If you ever wanted to yell at me, you needed somebody to yell at, call me. I'll pick up the phone, and you say I need to scream and holler and get it out, and then let me know when you're done. I'll pick the phone back up. Your challenge is that if you go holler and go crazy with somebody, is that you're going to make them feel bad, and you don't want them to feel bad. You got to find somebody who's got the strength to take your injuries, to take your pain, to take your suffering and look at it and go, oh, I love you. You need empathy, not sympathy. So I love you. If you need somebody to cry, let me know. Go ahead, Rhonda.
Sure.
Shami, so am I saying that right? Am I saying your name right?
Yeah, Shami.
Okay. So this is going to sound kind of silly at first, but just walk with it for a second. Just like when we have a cold, if we don't blow our nose and we don't cough, none of that stuff comes out of our body, and it stays in there, and it manifests into something bigger. Would you agree?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so tears, crying, coming out of you is the physical representation of those emotions coming out of you. And when you hold them in there and you don't let it happen and you don't let it flow, it builds bigger, and then it just gets nastier. And then when it does manifest, there's no telling what it looks like when it does come out. So I'm going to encourage you, sister, cry. Let it go. Let it go and let it happen. And there's a couple reasons. One is the first reason I told you, let it get out. And the second is, if and when you ever do that with someone or in front of someone, you're real. And it will allow them to be real with their feelings too. Take off I got to have this armor on and I can't be real. Be real and cry. It's okay. And if you got to do that with someone you really trust, find that person. But sister, quit holding it in, because it's going to come back. And when it does, it's going to bite you in the butt. And then you're really going to have a problem. Let it go. Let it go. Cry it out. It's okay.
Can I add to that, Rhonda? I love what you just said. And sometimes it's really hard for us to be vulnerable even for ourselves. I would tell Shama to ask the source, ask the universe, ask God, ask whoever you believe in to give you that platform to open up to even let those feelings out, because it can sometimes be that we dig them so deep that we forget that they're even there. And like Rhonda said, they will show themselves eventually. Everything has to come out of us so we can receive something new. So ask. If you feel like you can't naturally bring that out of you, ask and you shall receive.
Yeah,
Real women.
real women, real women cry. I don't know about y'all. As real as I can be is when I am letting my emotions come out. That's real. Real is not
Like I need to
hiding.
stop.
Well, real is not hiding an emotion. Real is when you're sitting in the mirror in the bathroom in front of the mirror and you're like, what the hell just happened? And you cry and you snot and you get frustrated. That's real. And when you finally let that out, you're being real with yourself. And then when you're comfortable enough to let that out in front of somebody, now you're giving them the opportunity for them to be real. This fake crap on social media you see of a perfect face and perfect hair and smile and everything's hunky-dory, that's not real. That is not real. And that will get you in a place to where you don't even know what reality is anymore. Being real is asking, and can I let it go? Is it time? Can I please let it happen? And crying it out. And guys probably struggle with this more than women do. So I'm going to encourage y'all let your emotions out in tears, in, whatever avenue, let it out. Let it go. I don't know who that was for, but there you go.
It was
Thank
actually
you.
for me.
Thank you.
Hey, Claudio, how are you, brother?
Hey, Sean, man. Man, I can't even express myself, like, the gratitude I got for you right now, man. And not only you, if not everybody in this call. I mean, today's been an amazing day. I actually woke up late. I was late into the call. I woke up at 8, even though I set up my alarm like at 5 in the morning. And then I was like, man, and I was mad at myself. But now I'm grateful because, even though I was late, I made it. I made it. And today, just being on this call has helped me a lot. And it's just, I realized that it's all about perspective, how you see life and how you see yourself, how much you believe in you. Because, I mean, today, just something, it's the little things. Like you were telling me yesterday, man. Like today, I just went to McDonald's and I didn't eat. I just didn't know what I was thinking about. But I just went to McDonald's. I don't even go to McDonald's like that. And I saw the lady that, that I was sending the money to. And I was just like, yo, I love you. And like, that just gave her a smile on her face. And I was just like, yo, that make me feel good. And I mean, now that I get on this call, that's what you guys are doing to me. It's just giving me that hope and that energy, that love that I needed. And I mean, just everybody, my advice to everybody is just believe in yourself. Just look at the mirror and tell yourself that you're a good person. You're worth it, and you deserve to be in this world. And no matter what the devil try to throw at you, like, you're strong. And just believe in yourself. Sean, I'm more than grateful for you, my man. You don't even know what you did to me yesterday, my man.
I love you, man.
Thank you, everybody.
Well, listen, here's what I do know. I know another call is about ready to happen called Mornings with Nano. I absolutely love each and every one of you. I appreciate you so very much. Every one of you that did share your heart, it's your first step. And know this, there is a lot more inside of you than you know. And when it starts to come out, don't be surprised at how amazing you are. I love you all tons. Rhonda, thanks for sharing. I can always count on my amazing Rhonda, who's absolutely mentor to me as well. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm Sean Murphy, founder of Mental Profits. I'll see y'all where? On the next call, the next event. Y'all can say bye-bye to each other.
Have a good day,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Much love, much love, much love.
Bye, y'all.
Everyone have a blessed day.
Nano's calls next. I'll be on there.
Let's go. I don't want to hang up.